we need to talk about DeMeco Ryans because I meant to get to him earlier. How well is he doing right now as a coordinator? First part of the question. Second part, does this dude look like a guy who could be a head coach sooner than later? In that order.
Yes, on the head coach, and he is a fantastic defensive coordinator. The amount of growth he's shown throughout this season is incredible. He's gotten more and more comfortable as the season has gone on, in terms of how he calls his defense, in terms of mixing up his calls, in terms of how he uses his personnel creatively. He is really, really good. I wanted them to hire Raheem Morris, who the Rams hired, and not promote DeMeco Ryans. I was wrong. He is a better defensive coordinator today than Raheem Morris. I think Raheem Morris, maybe part of his issue is that he's also running a scheme that's not his scheme. It's Brandon Staley's scheme, and he has to call a defense like that. But sometimes I find Raheem Morris to be too simple and maybe a little too passive with his defensive calls. I don't find that with DeMeco Ryans. I find him to be aggressive. And I think, Kyle Shanahan said the testament of a great coach earlier this season is getting your A players to play like A players. Nick Bosa playing like an A player. Fred Warner playing like an A player. Look at the guys he's developed. Azeez Al-Shaair this year has played like a B plus, A minus player. Eric Armstead's
a B plus, that was his project when he was the linebacker coach. Yeah. People forget. Yeah.
Jimmy Ward is playing like an A player.
True.
Jaquaski Tart is playing like a B plus, A minus player. He's gotten all those guys to play. K'Wan Williams is having a fantastic season. He's gotten all these guys to play really well. He's been doing it while having a revolving door, depending on who starts at corner, because his one corner that's played really well all season, Emmanuel Mosley, is not even playing right now. And this defense is still playing at a high level.
Can I give you some stats real quick? This season, the Niners have given up 2 300-yard passers. Burrow and Goff. One was overtime. One was garbage time. Also, last 6 games, the Niners have given up 3.3 yards per carry. These stats are courtesy of Mr. Roscoe's on Twitter. If you didn't know or you don't know.
Mr. Roscoe's is the man.
Yeah, so DeMeco, wow. Yeah, he's having what an elite rookie season as a coordinator. And then to me, real quick, I mean, I'd love to hear what you think, but it seems to me like it's kind of showing everything you want as a head coach. I mean, he's not an offensive guy, but he was a good player. He was the quarterback of the defense. He's gone his way. He's worked his way up through the ranks. He had tremendous success as a position coach. He's having tremendous success as a coordinator. Seems like Mike Vrabel 2.0.
Yeah. The question is, can he handle situational football? But I don't see why not. He seems to be really, really smart. I love his pressers. I think he's a direct and smart communicator. I think he's different from Robert Saleh in the way he communicates, but I think it's effective nonetheless. I think he's an interesting
very
speaker.
Professional.
Yeah.
He's very convivial. Sometimes I'd like him to, I wish he would give less, the guys are working hard answers, and, something a little bit more, but that's really doesn't really matter. It doesn't it doesn't determine how good of a coach he's going to be. That's more of a media coach relationship thing, which evolves over time.
And this defense is serious, Grant. I mean, you look across the board. I mean, Jones, Bosa, Armstead, Arden Key. That's a mean front four. Now, those 4 names we would not have thought in the beginning of the season that combination would be maybe one of the best front fours in football, but it's become that. When Al-Shaair and Warner play, I think Al-Shaair raises the speed of this defense the way Quan Alexander used to. And it's nothing against Greenlaw, who's really, really solid. I just think Al-Shaair is just a bit more explosive than Greenlaw. And he can miss some plays from time to time, but they used to talk about Quan Alexander in the same way where he gets guys to the football.
Yep.
And Al-Shaair kind of does that because he flies sideline to sideline. And I think if they can get Greenlaw back too, having all 3 would be phenomenal. K'Wan Williams, to me, is the best nickel in the NFL in the run game. I don't think anybody fills or triggers better than K'Wan Williams. I think he's a phenomenal tackler. Tart and Ward are both incredible. I mean, Ward, everybody took shots at him when he said tight ends weren't going to get 50 yards on him. He should have said they're not going to get 30 yards on him.
It's true. I'd never see him give up a catch. So hold on. DeMeco, salute. I was very skeptical. You had a couple missteps early in the season. I jumped all over you. But stepping back, not only are you an excellent coordinator, not only were you the right choice for this team, but dude, you're going to be a head coach soon. Like, honestly, in this upcoming coaching cycle, someone should interview you. I don't know if you're ready, but I mean, if the choice is down to Byron Leftwich or you, I mean, Byron Leftwich just put up 0 points yesterday. You are doing really well, so he should at least get some
And I would
love.
like to say one more thing too. He's one of the things I think he's done better than Robert Saleh is when he has to put new corners in situations, he protects them. I mean, they had that cover 2 plan against the Bengals with Ambry Thomas to Ambry Thomas's side, where they had consistently played it. And I know Jamar Chase got him later in that game. It was inevitable that Burrow and Jamar Chase would figure it out eventually. They stumped him with that plan early in that football
like
game.
2.5, 3/4.
Yeah. And I know Ambry Thomas had a couple of ticky-tack penalties and stuff, but he's protected Ambry Thomas and put him in good spots. Ambry Thomas yesterday, he got baptized at the catch point by Russell Gage, but at least he was there. Hopefully he shows more progression throughout the season. I mean, he's still young. He didn't play last year, but the fact that he does those type of things, which was, one of the complaints with Robert Saleh with the Brian Allen game, it felt like he didn't protect Brian Allen at all, and it felt like Fitzmagic was just dropping back and saying, "There's Brian Allen, I'm going to throw the ball at him." Matt Ryan wasn't able to do that 100% of the time against Ambry Thomas. It happened to Greg Maben too when Jimmy Ward got hurt against the Packers in 2018. That comeback is maybe CJ Beathard's best game of his career. So he's a really, really good Grant. He should definitely become a head coach. I hope he does it though, because out of selfish reasons, I'd like him to remain the coordinator of the Niners.
It's like Vrabel ascended so quickly. It seems like Ryans. I mean, he was just as good of a player as Vrabel, if not better.
He was better.
He's better.